What is going on, everyone? My name is Boyd and I will... Well, I can't speak very well, can I? I stuffed it up. Do we start again or do we just live with it? I'm back with some more Age Mythology, the Titans action. God, my brain is completely gone. What is going on in my entire life? Jesus, this coronavirus is destroying my soul. Okay, spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Tickle. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Loki, is Safe from Death. The map is Frozen Wastes. And it's kind of looking like Safe from Death was playing Odin in that last game. So he's shaking things up here, switching into the vastly different god Loki. And while you can say that it looks very similar because it has the same looking buildings, plays very differently. You want to be getting those Hersa out, you want to get those raids in, and doing all of that good stuff. Now, the issue with Loki against Zeus is there is no issue. I actually think that Loki probably has one of the best chances on a high hunt map against Zeus, or specifically on an open high hunt map such as Frozen Wastes against Zeus, because making centaur isn't really an option. And going Athena Rush doesn't work that well because your opponent can just abuse how immobile your army is because they're making her so they just choose not to fight you head on. Pick off your reinforcements if you're attacking him, and then just keep building up units and sitting up safely under tower. And with a back gold mine like this, it's really hard for an Athena Rush to do too much damage. Not only that, but Flaming Weapons is such a huge part of Loki's military plan. You kind of need to play around it. So Tickle will probably be going Hermes here, but it's probably going to be probably not going to be a Centaur Hermes. There's other styles of Hermes. Like you can go 2 town center Hermes into stable archery range. You can go 1 town center, 3 stables Hermes. You can go 2 stables, 1 archery range Hermes. There's a bunch of different options. So we'll see how Tickle plays it. He's been playing very well. I haven't actually seen his Zeus this tournament. And another thing that we have to point out is the grand finals. Or the finals, probably more accurate, but it is the finals. Last series of this tournament between these players. So both these players are obviously incredibly strong players in their own right, and we'll see what they can come up with. And Safe from Death moving forward onto these Walrus nice and early, leaving a couple of Caribou for him to move back on. That's what we like to see. The Catastropher's doing those annoying things. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. It's so annoying. He comes in and he just attacks one of your villages and then the villager spazzes out a little bit. Like, how dare you jab me for 2 damage? Just like you just scratched me or something. It's gonna force a little bit of lost resources, but nothing too big. So we'll see what happens here. Temple coming up, obviously very close to either adjacent or a next age. And Athena's the god of choice. I like it. It's ballsy. So we'll see how he goes. As you can see, he's using this temple as a blockage point. He can wall off and he can wall around his wood here. He can move forward and grab forward Walrus and then go for Hoplite pushing and go for like a 10-minute town center takedown as an option here. Make sure you don't have any make sure that your military buildings are forward enough that they don't get picked off as reinforcements, because I often see people with Athena Rush and have a military barracks and an archery barracks in their base, and then as their units are running forward to the enemy base, they get picked off. But if you build the buildings here and here, it's much less time for them to run forward, so it's much harder for the Loki to do too much damage. But we are going to be seeing Force 80 coming through. Almost there, as the Hersa are going to see this location, the granary there, and immediately make their way over onto this here. We do see a bolt immediately comes down, archery range, military academy coming down, Jason coming out of the town center, Minotaur coming forward, villagers turn around, nice micro to pull that villager away from the Hersa, and then a spy is left there. there as the Herso is going to be returning back to base. More Herso getting built out, and a longhouse getting put right next to his town center. Perfect play, exactly what you want to do. The next thing you want to be doing, which I haven't seen very much of because it's a bit wild, is the deathmatch strategy. And if you haven't seen deathmatch, I do recommend watching some of those games. You want to put houses around your town center here, not around your watchtowers, because they're just going to die. They're kind of useless. You want to prevent your opponent from running at your town center. And you can delete the houses later if you really want to give room for farms, but you can just use your ox cart over here to build the farms or whatever. You're totally fine. But if you put houses around the town center, you limit the surface area that hoplites can move in and take your town center down. So those town center raids are not going to be that effective, giving you more time to get to the heroic age, which is the name of the game here. The name of the game for Tickle is going to be kill that town center with restoration if can be, and prevent hunt as well. And that's already going to be happening as the units start moving forward. And we do see Safe from Death moving forward as well. But Tickle immediately going to be turning around, realizes, nope, not time to move out just yet. I see only a couple of units over here, so the Herso must be elsewhere, and he's right. The Herso come in, so nice thought process there to bring his units back. And these Herso, they don't have Hall of Fames just yet. It does take a long time to come in, has a build time of 40 seconds, or a research time of 40 seconds. So these Herso gonna be retreating here. And now Tickle moving forward. He's finally looking at him. We've got the Herso coming onto the gold mine. And that's it. He's going to be attacking these villages. Villagers should just garrison into the town. The tower's right there, man. Just get into it. Feels bad, but Odysseus coming in to defend. This is enough units here. Odysseus is such a strong unit. He's got his 6-pack armor out and his tiny bow to defend, and the Herso are going to be wandering around looking for something else. I wonder if Safe from Death is spotted over here. He hasn't spotted over here, but he knows there's going to be hunt here, and he knows there might be hunt here, so he's going to check this top area, which is going to be really, really big. And now the hoplite making their move in here, still going to be able to take down the temple. Unfortunately not able to defend that one, but another longhouse comes in. Safe from Death does not really need that temple back up just yet. He's got a couple of goat to utilize here. There is a random Tickle goat over there as well. The Herso do manage to deal a little bit of damage over here. More Herso raids while the army's taking down these sentry towers and houses. Still Safe from Death, not surrounding his town center with houses. I mean, it's a bit of a nuanced strat, and I don't think that this matchup's really been investigated that much, but it's something I've seen done to some fairly decent success. It also keeps your houses alive, because you tend to lose houses. Like if you lost this sentry tower, you then lose the house as well afterwards. But Valkyrie spawn for all Safe from Death, going to be picking off even more villages, so doing a lot of damage here at this point. Of throwing away a Ursa, unlucky, you don't want to be doing that one. And house going up a little bit forward as well. Just really precarious house positioning here. It's not what you want to be doing against a civilization that can just take them down. So we'll see what Tickle can do with this army. Going to be looking to move over onto potentially this wood line here, making some small movements, and I don't think he's seen. Yeah, he hasn't, or he has seen the trees have fallen, so he could move in there. But then again, he may get picked off. And we'll see. It looks like Safe from Death making a move back here. And is Tickle moving forward with everything? Yes, everything's moving forward. But this is going to be a difficult fight for Tickle to win, because these Herso are strong right now en masse. And he's going to get a nice surround here. Probably even get a couple of myth units spawn and probably force out a restoration here. But Minotaur also getting targeted down by the Herso. There's the restoration, trying to keep the Minotaur alive, but does not do so. Safe from Death forces that defensive restoration. Now he should not have to worry about his town center getting taken down too early here, and he's just going to retreat. And he can potentially just go back to raiding right now, because there's kind of not too much. Oh, actually he can't. It's going to be an issue here, because the gold mine is gone. And Safe from Death has got 620 gold in the bag, trying to build another longhouse. What? You need that wood. You need that wood for a temple and trolls right now. It looks like he's not going to be doing that. He's retreating. He's trying to pull the units in, but he's just throwing away units. It's not what you want to be doing. You can't throw away units. The dwarves making their way over onto the gold mine, and Tickle needs to make a decision right now about where he's going to go. He's got a scout over on this gold mine, and he's going to be sending a Toxotes over here, and he's going to see these dwarves gathering, and he's going to make a beeline, but his army moving the wrong way. It's going to give a SafeFromDeath just a little bit more time here, and he's going to be set up, and he's realizing, I have to fight right now, but he can use the dwarves. He's got a lot of gold in the bank, and really, in reality, he has the 500 gold to get to the heroic age, so he could use those to fight you with no issue. And if he gets to the heroic age, he's supposed to get really strong, but he's not doing so. He's going to send these units in. The throwing axemen doing a lot of damage. A nice micro from the Toxotes onto those throwing axemen that are picking off those hoplites. We do have the Valkyrie moving in right now to try and pick off those Toxotes, which is doing that, but the Jason Odysseus cleaning it up really nicely there, and it's looking like it's going to be a little bit of a close fight. Another Valkyrie does spawn. Nice micro from that hoplite pulling these units away from here, but it's looking like this is super close, and potentially SafeFromDeath is going to be living here. A lot of really low HP Herser though, and it's maybe time for Tickle to think about the retreat button, especially with a potential more myth unit spawns. But not getting them just yet. Does manage to pick off a Toxotes here, picking off some of those low HP ones. Still has a couple of units alive as Tickle is getting, oh, he's on top of these foods, trying to grab some of the excess caribou, or the leftover caribou, and now the army of Tickle is making his way onto the gold mine, but dwarves coming out. This is why I said potentially you could have just used the dwarves to help fight. Even just 5 of them would have been totally fine, and we can see from this perspective, it's still got 700 gold in the bank. So it's way too much gold, so you can utilize these dwarves as much as you like, and you're going to be totally fine without that food. See another Toxotes coming in to prevent these villagers from gathering food here. SafeFromDeath has still got a couple of caribou and walrus in the middle of the map, but I don't think he's going to be able to gather from them anytime soon. So Tickle just has to keep putting his pressure on the map here. If he can keep that going on, he'll be doing much damage, very big damages. But the throwing axemen are taking, oh, we got so many hoplite now, not even getting out. Is he still building Toxotes? He is building units from everywhere, but that was a bunch of hoplite that come in there, and hoplite are really strong. They're basically just as strong as these Herser. The Herser do a little bit more damage and have a little bit more HP, but they're basically as strong. 8 damage versus 8.8. Get a troll spawn, not the one you want to be seeing, because that gets picked off nearly instantly by the Odysseus. These dwarves coming in to tank some damage, but SafeFromDeath with only 2 military buildings gets 4 military buildings. It's just easy math. He just can't keep up with the spam. His economy can though, because look, he's got so much gold in the bank that had he had a better economy sorted out here, with more villagers on wood, he would have been able to be spamming out more units. But instead, he's just making throwing axemen here. And the dwarves now idle in the back, not even dumping their gold. There we go, dumping the gold now, and then he's going to probably jump onto the trees and try and spend the rest of his gold here before he tries to move out. But 500 gold, it's about 10 units, 10 extra units here. And when you look at that, that's 20 population, and that's 80 population max you're going to get from this gold. And he's still building dwarves as well. And Tickle is sitting at 110 population. So even if he spends all of this gold that he's got on units, he's still losing units as well. That is looking very, very poor here for SafeFromDeath. Tickle doing the damage everywhere. The dwarves making a move for this top gold mine, but gets spotted immediately by the Catastropus. And the army for Tickle making his way over to pick these guys off. And SafeFromDeath are going to try and greet him. I would really, he's not, he's fighting a little bit too early here. But he's going to be doing it. Maybe if he can get some Valkyrie or Anhir spawns, he will be able to turn the tides here, but not any myth unit spawns on that attack. And it's looking like Tickle just too fast, too strong. And safe from death. I'm not going to be able to hold this gold mine for very much longer. Villagers come off the gold mine. Ursa throw an axeman onto the back of these. Throw an axe on these Toxotes. And safe from death taps out. GG. Well played by Tickle. But you know what? I think this game was super close. And it just came down to a few macro decisions here from safe from death. There was a point there where it was neck and neck. And Safe from Death was up a god power because he has his healing spring, and Tickle had used his restoration for not very much value. So the way I reckon that Safe from Death could have had this one is, instead of having 15 dwarves on gold, only had 10. Put villagers onto wood. Put dwarves onto wood so that he can get more military buildings up. Also build farms as well. If he had 5 dwarves extra on wood instead of on the gold mine even, he would have been able to get out, I don't know, an extra 2 military buildings at some point, and then be able to support, at least support an extra 1 military building throwing axemen and getting more farms up so he can keep production of Hersa, which at least means he's only down 1 military building in production. I feel like he could support 4 military buildings with all the excess resources. The other option he could have done was, instead of fighting here with his army when it was really close fight and didn't go either way, he could have let the fight come here and pulled off those 5 dwarves and had them fight here, and then have them tank damage from the Toxotes, potentially lose them, but then just go Heroic Age because you win the fight pretty hard with the extra 5 dwarves helping, and go Heroic Age to Bragi and then go for a gold star would have been the option. Anyways, 1 win for Tickle there. We'll move on to the next game very shortly. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll get it going real soon.